Hey, hello everybody. Good afternoon, good evening. I'm Aditya, co-founder and maintainer of AutoDL. Oops, people are still joining in. Okay, so the purpose of this meeting today is one, for you all to meet the team, and second, if you have any questions regarding setting up AutoDL, history of AutoDL, anything like contributing to AutoDL, we are here to answer. I would request the AutoDL team to at least turn on the cameras, and others I leave to you. If you want to turn on the camera, cool. If not, that's fine as well. I think we can start with introductions, right? So that they know whom they are talking to. Would you like to go first, Tanvi?
Hey everyone, I'm Tanvi Shinde, a co-founder and maintainer here. You can ask me any questions about AutoDL related to the backend specifically or anything else also.
Rahul, would you like to go next?
Okay, hi everyone. Yeah, I'm Rahul Tejwani, working as a non-tech person in AutoDL and handling the non-technical things as well as contributing to some part of DevOps. And here I am to answer any of your questions if you would like to ask. And yeah, Rushang, you can go ahead now.
Hi guys, I'm Rishang. I have mostly worked on the deployments and the GitOps part. Recently, I've been working with the front end as well. So feel free to ask any questions related to those, as well as anything else if you like to.
McQueen is here too. So McQueen recently joined our team as a reviewer. McQueen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, hello guys. My name is Macvin and I'm just a reviewer and just here to support you guys. So yeah, that's about it. I work by the way full stack, so front end, back end. That's it.
I'm sure it's not just reviewing as you have to test a lot of pull requests, but cool. Okay, so guys, you can see this is new to us as well. So don't make it too hard for us and let's keep this interactive. So anyone would like to go first with their questions or do you have anything in mind, want to know anything about AutoDL?
Probably there are a few people, so we can go ahead with introducing these people also, the people who have joined up from outside. If
That's a
you
good idea.
guys can also, yeah, we are a few, so yeah, you guys can also introduce yourself apart from five of us.
That's right.
Ankit Pawar or Chiranjeev Agrawal or Aswar Narayan. Anyone?
Yeah, so my name is Ashwath actually. I'm currently a third year student at Amrita Shuddhapitam. And like my background basically lies in like I actually supported ML research at my university, and but I'm new to this basically the ML and the stack, the combined things and the product basis. So I'm hoping to learn something soon.
That's good to know. I think many here admire your college, by the way. Okay, so do you have any questions in particular regarding AutoDL and have you contributed till now?
Yeah, like I haven't started looking at things, but yeah, after the session I might be more interested in this.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Brand.
Okay, yeah, great. Maybe just introduce myself a bit. My name is Brian. Currently a final year student. Currently studying CS in Singapore. Just a bit of background of me. Um, I guess my purpose for joining the AutoDL team is actually for learning about open source contribution. Because I mean we hear a lot about open source contribution, but personally me myself haven't really been active about Opus's contribution, and that's something that I wanted to learn. That's been like pending till now. So yeah, that's actually one of the biggest reasons why I wanted to learn Opus's contribution. So I actually have one question regarding the AutoDL configuration. So actually I've set up like the backend and the front end. So my question is actually when we first load the front end on React, I believe there's like a login page where we ask for a login or register username account. Uh, because when I tried to register an account, it gives an error in the terminal. So yeah, is there like some sort of test account for that, or how is it supposed to work? Yeah, thank you. That's my question.
So what did you have any database errors, or was it just the server logic?
Bryant, you are on mute, I suppose.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Was it the database error, or was it the server logic?
I believe it's the database error. Yeah.
Okay. You deployed it on your own, right?
Yeah, in my local machine, correct.
So which database were you using?
I believe it's in MongoDB.
Okay.
Hey Bryant, you can check out the video Aditya has shared in the chats.
Oh,
And
cool. Okay.
if there is any other problem, then we'll get in touch with you and clear your doubts personally. Is that okay? McQueen can join you.
Yep, that sounds good. Yeah, I didn't know that there's a video for that. But yeah, sure, I can take a look at it. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
If the video does not solve your error, then I suggest that you put it on Slack. Many folks here can then help you with the exact, if we know the exact error, so we know how to proceed.
Okay, yeah, sure, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, welcome, Bryant. Yeah, going ahead. Aniket or Chiranjeev, whoever goes first, whoever wants to go first.
Hey, hi. So my name is Aniket Pawar and I'm
Hi,
currently
Aniket.
pursuing my fourth year from Visit only. So just 1 year junior to you guys. So main purpose behind joining this AutoDL repo was to contribute to open source, and it was being a startup from our own college. So that was the main reason again.
Thanks for joining.
Sure.
Do you have any questions specifically?
Not specifically. I guess the review means the reviewing part of PRs could be much more interactive.
A feedback. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, we'll work on that. McQueen, do you want to reply as you are the reviewer over here?
I'm not the only reviewer, but yes, actually, we'll have to make it a bit more interactive. What do you suggest, Aniket? By the way, anything that you think how we could make it a bit more interactive as such?
Like for example, the reviewing process. So means
You think
since
it's being a bit stretched out? Maybe is that the thing?
yes.
Okay, right. So I guess we'll be working on that then.
Yeah,
No,
like one of
since many PRs are raised simultaneously, so I guess completing one PR and then moving on to next would be much more easier than means reviewing all the PRs simultaneously.
yeah, so basically the issue with your PRs was that we weren't able to test it accurately. There was
Yes,
like
I
these
got that.
answers weren't sure, yeah. So that was the issue with that. We'll make sure to merge that log messages PR as soon as possible.
No issues.
On the same note, I would like to ask you all of you, not just Aniket, that when there's some feedback on your pull request, would you rather want us to, post it on the GitHub issues itself or take it up on Slack? Which one do you all prefer?
I guess the discussion part would be more comfortable on Slack.
Got it.
Yeah, I prefer that.
Okay, great. Yeah, Chiranjeev, go ahead.
Hello, hello. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
yes, we can hear
Yeah,
you.
Chiranjit this side. I am an engineering graduate. Along with that, I have 2+ years of experience in RTNP solution as a front-end developer. Currently, I am working in an in-house project called News Application, which is used in a hyper-local market. Actually, I have sent you up. I have raised a PR. Can you please check and let me know anything I can do further?
I think we are looking at your PR right now.
Yes.
That would be great. We would come back to you soon on that.
Uh, so you are the one who created that Google login, right? Google OAuth.
Yeah. Yes.
Nice. I saw the Loom video. Well done,
Oh,
man. Your code will be reviewed, and it's a big change, a big thing, and an important thing is login security and that stuff. So it would take some time, and I think multiple people will review and test your code. So
okay. Okay.
expect at least a couple of days before you get all the reviews done. Okay.
Sure. Sure.
Okay. Anything else, Chiranjeev?
No, no, that's it.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining.
You guys have any other questions? Ashwar, Aniket, Brian, Chiranjeev, any other questions or queries you have for AutoDL or something like that? It's an open session, or you want to ask something to us about how we started and all those things. Anything. Any of the questions are
Yes. I would like to know that means how did this idea come actually of AutoD?
okay. Aditya, can you please answer this question? Aditya.
Yeah, sure. Well, AutoDL started as our final year project. So in final year, for Bryant, we have to make a capstone project, right? So that project, we were deciding topics for that project. That's one thing, and we obviously wanted to make something that if no one else, then at least we'll use ourselves. So that was one more thing, and there was a discussion, something going around PyTorch versus what's the other one? TensorFlow. PyTorch versus TensorFlow. So Keras actually, and we were all in favor of Keras because the Keras API is quite easy. Now, if you are not familiar with deep learning, then let me give you an example. So in Keras, it is as simple as from something import CNN, and you're just creating a model equal to sequential and adding CNN layer in that model. It's 3 lines of Python code. And the same thing in PyTorch, you have to create a class, you have to import those, create a class, then instantiate that class, and then use it. So a lot of hassle. So the thing happened, and PyTorch is faster, by the way, than Keras. Like I don't know what it's exactly, but I think some kind of testing or something was done, and then it was found out that PyTorch was faster. And we were like, even though PyTorch is faster, why do we like Keras? Because it's easier to write. So we were like, what if we can automate all this? And then we saw a structure that, okay, the imports can be automated. We can remove unwanted imports even if we import just everything altogether. That's what, by the way, we use right now. Then the pre-processing part, that's more or less standard. Though there are variations in the values of parameters that are put in there, we can find out that variation by multiple means. So there's auto pre-processing, and that's also going to come next in AutoDL. It's not there right now, but then it can be automated. And for the time being, we can take input from a form, so front end form. The main part that was model building, that is what we focused on, and we came up with our own logic and our own intermediate representation to represent deep learning models. And that intermediate representation is called DLMML. So if someday, I don't know whether it will happen or not, but someday we can probably patent it as well, but not anytime soon. So that intermediate representation actually made it possible for us to develop, develop deep learning models from front end. Second, this feature called as interportability. Now my friends would be like, no, it's called interoperability, but I call it interportability because it is porting code from one framework to another because of that IR. So it's basically how JVM works. If you'll know how JVM works, so yeah. And then the last part was training loop. And trust me, when I see this, 90% of the training loops are same. They make a train test split and then they train the model and they evaluate the model, right? So that can be that could be automated as well. So that's how we came up with this idea of AutoDL. We made the platform, and the platform's UI has been gone through 3 iterations right now. The third one is being made, and Rushang and McLean are making it. So yeah, that's the history.
Probably someday DLMML would be studied in colleges. up to their pockets.
I wish.
So yeah, that's our story, our part of story. Aniket, any other questions from your side?
I think Raj's introduction is left, right?
Yeah, Raj Joshi, can you please turn on your camera and give your introduction? Okay, guys, Raj Joshi is one of the co-founders and core members of the team, and he has been handling the front end from last 2 versions. Hey
Now
Raj, can
I'll
you
be like,
please?
what will I say?
I suppose Raj isn't here. Hey guys, was traveling. Okay, Raj is traveling somewhere. Okay, Raj, no problem. Yeah, guys, any other questions from your side? Yeah, waiting.
Also, feel free to utilize this time to ask any doubts you have in some issues or anything that you see on AutoDeal's GitHub repo website.
Or
Anything.
any suggestions you want to make to us, or anything else.
Yeah. Code suggestions, and we really appreciate UI suggestions as well.
No, Brian, we aren't. Like, all the 5 of us are currently working, except for McQueen. He is currently in his, what do you call it, sophomore, I guess. He's in his sophomore year.
Junior year, right? Michael?
Junior.
Junior year. What about you, Brent? Did you mention which year? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, actually, I'm in my final year actually.
Final year. Oh, nice. What's your major?
CS. I'm studying CS. Yeah, but I mean, we in my university we also have the final capstone project. It's the same thing as Aditya you mentioned. But yeah, I'm doing more something in the computer vision research. But yeah.
Oh wow. Try making a final model on AutoDeal and give us feedback, man. It would be really helpful.
I actually had a question regarding the docs part. So, means how are we going to generate the doc file? So, are we using Sphinx or something like that?
Yeah, we do use Sphinx. So I'll just quickly show if you want. Great. Okay. So here we have this make file, right? If you are on Windows, then to this bat file works, and even in Linux, you have to just change your directory to docs and just make HTML. That's the command, and you'll get basically you'll get the I think what is called build directory over here, and in that index.html will be how it looks on the web. So if you want to see the deployed version, I think it's docs.deal.com. Yeah, not big, sorry. There it is. I'm not sure if there's an issue regarding this, but we are looking for, looking to update the user interface of the doc to match with our website. So yeah, here it is. So something with these colors and this font, something like transition should be gray white and something like that. So if anyone's interested or has experience changing themes of docs, then it would be really helpful for us.
These dogs are hosted on Read the Dogs, I suppose.
Yeah,
Are they?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, there. Does that answer your question, Aniket?
Yes, yes.
Okay. I guess if there are no more questions, maybe we'll wait a couple of minutes and then end this session. What do you guys suggest?
If these guys have any other questions, then we are here. If none, then we can just end this.
I'm just glad there was no awkward silence phase for more than a minute or two. And this meeting stretched till 30 minutes. That's an achievement.
Yeah, actually, I had one more question. Nowhere it is mentioned that how many number of PRs or contributions to be made to be eligible for swags. Like only the top contributor gets the swag.
That's a good question because the top is not defined, right? I know what you're trying to say over here, but definitely more than one people will get. So the idea over here is we are tracking the contributions you all are making, and then depending on the quality of the contributions, because obviously quality is more important than quantity, right? If you add a very big
Yes.
feature and just make one pull request out of it, it would be obviously more valuable than 5 PR which just change one or two words in the docs. So looking at all that, we'll decide. So the number is not decided. So we don't actually want to cap it to only the top three or top two or top five, So it depends on how many contributions we get and what are the quality of contributions that
Probably if all our contributors are that good, then all of them would get the swags.
right. So again, we don't actually mention the number because then people just come in for swags. We don't want that. Okay, well, as there are no more questions, I think we can end the session.
Sure.
Good suggestion.
That's a good point, Raj.
And let me find the doc ASAP.
That's it then. Aditya?
Sure, if they want to see it, I don't mind doing that. So before I forget, here's the private beta link. So private beta is a very short program to actually get feedback from new contributors. We haven't launched into a public beta yet because we want to improve ourselves. The UI that you'll see in private beta is the version 1 which is currently used, and version 2 is still at its nascent state, so it's not it has not been developed yet even for the beta testing part of it. So register here, you'll get links to everything. It will link you to a doc that looks something like this. And here are the steps mentioned in case you get stuck because of any reason. Obviously, we'll be there on Slack to help you all out. And yeah, I can quickly show the demo. Just give me a minute. I did not prepare for this. Right. abandoned it. So not a database issue. We'll have to check the registration part by the way. Okay, so when you log in, this is how it looks in version 1. And this is how it will look in version 2, something like that. You'll see cards if you have logged in version 2. Anyway, so I'll create a new project. I'll just name it. Okay, my first project and sample are taken. So let's call it test project. And a test project is a description. So we have Python and Keras over here. The PyTorch part is not yet completed, otherwise you would have seen another option over here. So classification. Raj is putting all the feature requests there. Anyway, so data directory, this is again something interesting. Data directory should be the place on your local machine where your data exists. So let me check on my local machine where it is. You probably won't see this on your screen because I'm not sharing my whole screen, but I'll quickly go through my D drive over here. And I have it here. Let me just show you all the data. So, as you all can see, it is on this path, and we have test and train. So in both the cases, we have cats and dogs. This is how the data should be structured for our system to take in. So we are using Keras data loaders. Oops. Okay. So I'll copy the directory where till where like when the child directory should be train and test. So the parent of this one, and I'll put in over here. And let's call this test.py. If changes. Okay, so our project is created. And the type is image. A good suggestion for you all to get started if you don't know what to put in the example values. We are going to provide pre-filled values in the next version, I guess. Just put anything over. And this is characteristic of data, and I know my data size is this, the target size that I want. I would suggest that know your data before you do this step. And the class mode, okay, so it's a binary classification because there are two classes, right? Cats and dogs. Go to the models tab and let's create a quick CNN model. So okay, I just put in for filters. I want channel last. My kernel size got to be 2,2, and yeah, input shape is 200,3 because there are three channels: red, blue, and green. It's a colored data set, not black and white. So another convolution layer. Okay. Oops. I have max. Not needed, not needed, not needed. So star means required. And let's put in a couple of dense layers. Like the final one would be our sigmoid. We'll have 128 because the previous shift was 64. Activation value is all fine. A final dense layer that will have unit 1 because we need a sigmoid rate and the activation needs to be sigmoid. So if you're not familiar with deep learning, I understand how this would sound like, but I'm so sorry for that. We are trying to make it user friendly or beginner friendly. So right now if you click, I think here you will get to know what it means, but then it's not a very good way to show it. We are providing a tutorial screen. I'm not sure what the feature is going to be called, but from the right side you will get a panel where you can see what everything means. Let's go to hyperparameters. So these were the parameters for particular layer. So this is for the dense layer, right? So now hyperparameters are like for the whole model. So we want stochastic gradient descent, our loss to be binary cross entropy because the model is binary. Let's train it for 5 epochs. The learning rate can be anything not zero. Actually, don't let the learning rate be zero. It's not gonna train. And verbosity, I know that 3 is fine. We want metric, right? So we want it to be highly accurate. So let's let the metric be accuracy and generate code. Oh, I think I forgot something. Let me go back and check. And did I miss something? Not here.
Check the first layer.
Sure. Okay. I think I did put this right. Anyway. Cool. I'll generate. Okay. So it says that the code is generated and download code to download code. In the latest version of V1 itself, you'll see publish to GitHub as well. So you can directly publish your project from your to GitHub. Let me take a sip of water. Okay, now I'll click on download code. And it's getting downloaded. I'm not sure where I downloaded it. Oh, on desktop. Fine. So this is the generated code. I hope you can see the generated code. Yes, you can. So yeah, it only takes the parameters that it actually requires, like imports the libraries that it actually requires. And this part is automatically generated. It's a summary. So 2 plots will be generated, one for accuracy and one for loss. It takes the base directory that I put in. The augmentation part is from pre-processing. We took the target size that we gave, class mode that we gave, and this is the automated data generation pipeline. So image data generation for both train and test classes. And this is the easy part that I was talking about, right? Model equal to sequential, model dot add, all the layers that we wrote, convolution, max pooling, dense and dense. The same thing goes over here. And finally, the fitting and evaluating parts that I was talking about. So this is how it is. Again, the hosted part does not contain training the model online. It says this button, but if I click my Kubernetes instance, it would probably give an error because of some reason. But fine, yeah. And also you won't be able to see the logs. So from your what's next, next is if someone clicks train the model, it should actually train the model on the server itself. We are thinking to put in message queues over here. So RabbitMQ, Kafka, something like that, and that queue would be a microservice in itself. So once you click this, new instance would be generated, fleet pod, something like that. It will just exist till the model is trained, and it will return the weights and then basically destroy itself. So that's what we are looking at. And once that is done, like while it is being trained, there should be some place where we can see the logs. The user should be able to see the logs that's been going on. What's the current accuracy? What has the loss reduced yet? Because that's how deep learning works, right? You want to reduce your loss on every epoch, or at least after a particular set of epochs. Otherwise, the model would not train properly. It would just be randomly guessing any class. So yeah, that's what we are looking at next. And other than that, we are obviously working on the UI part. I think I've said that a lot of times now. If there's anything that I missed, guys, you can add. Otherwise, that's it for the day. Oh, we have another reviewer joining in Solid. Yeah, you're welcome, Raj. Thank you for giving your credits.
Actually, I had one last question. So, means would I be able to intern at AutoDL anytime soon? Means if I would like to intern at AutoDL.
Right. So I think that's actually a difficult question because we have a couple of things pipelined, and internship was not one of them, unfortunately. However, I'm not saying no. During your winter vacations, maybe we'll actually take that decision next month whether we want interns for the winter vacation or not. Rahul, would you like to add something?
Yes, probably we are going to come up with something. Just stay tuned, and you would get to know within a month. Within a month, probably it would be starting after your semester exams. That is odd semester exams,
Yes, around November, December. Yes.
and would go up to the first month of your college also mostly. Probably 2 months internship or something like that. So we would be coming up with something. We had an internship program in summer, that is after your even semesters, and yeah, we had nearly 20 recruits over there. 12 to 20 recruits. We recruited something, uh, and McVian was one of them, and now he has joined. So you can ask McVian about his experience. Mm, yeah, that's it from my side. Anything else, Aniket? Okay, great. Hey, thanks for joining. I hope if you don't have any questions, then we can end the meet. Guys, do you have any question? You can answer it in chat, or you can just unmute and answer yes or no.
Yeah, I think 2 more no's and we end the session, right?
I suppose they're mute. They're being on mute means no.
Yeah. So before we go, just because Raj joined late, I want to ask Raj, how was your experience interning at AutoDeal, Raj? Raj Tiwari.
Hey there. Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so I interned at Autodeal for 2 months. So initially, to be honest, I had never worked on any live project, so I was very hesitant to contribute. But in this 2 months of period, I would say like I learned a lot of things. And when I was not familiar with the backend part, especially Django, still I was helped by everyone here, and very easily in a very short span of time, I was able to get familiar with the code base, and I was able to contribute as a full stack developer here. So overall, I would say I learned a lot here, and most importantly, I gained a lot of confidence contributing to this. And yeah, I'm staying here, so I guess that answers how good the experience was.
Thank you for your kind words, Raj. Means a lot to us.
Nothing kind, just the truth.
Okay. Yeah, then I think now we can end the session. If there are no last minute things. Okay, so thank you so much for joining, guys. If needed, we'll do this next week as well with a couple of speakers from outside of AutoDL so that they can also share their open source experience with you all. Looking forward to that session. Thank you so much for joining. Bye bye.